Well, good morning. I'm Kent Edwards, the Sustainability Officer for the City of Delray Beach, and we're here at the Delray Beach Historical Society. I'm joined by Winnie Edwards, Executive Director, and Tom Warnke, one of the archivists here. And we're going to be talking about Lake Ida and water quality. So thank you very much for hosting us today, Winnie.
Thank you, Kent, and thank you to the City of Delray Beach for taking interest in the history of Lake Ida. And when I started here 11 years ago, it was one of the first history exhibits that we put up, the history of Lake Ida. So there's so much to tell and so much environmental news to give everybody, and I appreciate you all being here.
Lake Ida is really a gem. It has nice habitat, there's wildlife that utilizes it, it's a great fishing spot, and there's a lot of rich history that's there also. So I know it really perked my interest when I heard that Lake Ida was attached to the Everglades. So, Tom, can you tell us a little bit about the history?
Sure. As a water body, Lake Ida was connected to the Everglades by way of the surficial aquifer. The prehistory that we have about Lake Ida goes back 10,000 years, and we have maps that show starting about 1840, 1850. But the most recent history of Lake Ida starts about 1894 when Mr. Linton, William Linton, came here, and he bought the square mile that's Delray, laid it all out, the streets and everything, and he was here with his wife Ida, and he named the lake that we all have here Lake Ida. If you look at 1894, when Linton got here, a lot of the farmers planted vegetables, and all the way out to Lake Ida, we had pineapple fields. And one of those farmers was Mr. Schrader, and he lived up on North Swinton. And his backyard was pretty much Lake Ida. It was just a couple hundred yards west of his house and his farm. But in the 1920s, the Lake Worth Drainage District decided to lower the water level for many reasons. And so they started digging canals west of Delray, in close to Delray, and as that drainage happened, Lake Ida shrunk. So after they drained a lot of the Everglades and the lake was constricted, then we were in the 1930s, and it was still a great playground. People were catching 16-pound bass out of Lake Ida, and they still catch big bass out there. This is an example of one that was caught way back in the 30s. The best thing about Lake Ida is the fact that it has remained intact, and it's really worth protecting, and the city's doing a good job with that. The land boom in the 1920s was one of the reasons they wanted more housing, but the really big land boom happened in the 1950s. And that's when they started bringing more, making the lake deeper in order to put more land around for housing developments all around the lake, especially the north and east side. And that was all white sugar sand. So the maps and other aerial photos that we have here at the Historical Society can give people more insight. And like I said before, Lake Ida needs to be protected. So Earth Month is a great way to showcase.
That's fantastic, Tom. There's so much history there that everybody in Delray Beach, I think, would enjoy seeing. I know I have enjoyed it myself. The urban development that you talk about from the 50s and on is especially important from an environmental standpoint. The effect on water quality and stormwater management is really tremendous. And we're going to take a look at some of the things that our Public Works Department is doing when we shift to the next part of the video. So thanks a lot for joining and giving us that background, Tom.
Happy.
Yeah, with the history in mind, looking at the dredging and filling that has happened around the lake and a lot of areas of South Florida, the effect that has on water flow, stormwater management, and water quality really are tremendous. And I'm joined by Cynthia Busan, who's the Assistant Director of Public Works. Public Works does a whole lot of different things to to manage that flood control system and the water quality. But tell us first about some of the activities that we humans do that are challenges.
Sure, thanks a lot, Kent. So as Kent mentioned, Delray Beach, as it has developed over time, has greatly increased its amount of pervious surfaces. This includes roads, parking lots, and buildings, and this leads to more stormwater runoff. That's because there's less green space to absorb the water naturally that would seep into the ground. So runoff from these roads and buildings can carry pollutants such as oil, grease, and heavy metals into the lake. That's why we have stormwater infrastructure, from sodded swales to engineered systems that manage the roads and impervious surfaces around buildings. Also, anything that the rain washes off of our yards, from fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, and even grass clippings, can have an impact on water quality. Waste disposal is also very important. Improper disposal of household chemicals and waste can introduce harmful chemicals into the lake. Things like cleaners, detergents, solvents, pesticides, polishes, oils, and fuels can contaminate the water and harm aquatic life. Managing all these sources of contamination is critical to avoid algal blooms, low oxygen levels, and even potential fish kills.
Yeah, that really is an important message for everyone. I know around my yard and at my house, I look at those things. One of the great things that Delray Beach has through our solid waste management agreement is a drop-off facility for those household chemicals. So if you don't know what to do with them, there actually is a place that you can take and drop off to keep them from spilling or getting into the system there and causing disruption. So there are a lot of management of infrastructure and other kinds of activities that Public Works has to manage. Tell us about some of those important works.
Sure, will do. So one of the things that we try to focus on is consistent improvements to the city's stormwater infrastructure. Every single capital improvement project that the city embarks on has stormwater quality improvement features that are aimed at reducing the runoff and filtering pollutants. The city also has increased street sweeping frequencies and continues to incorporate swales adjacent to our roadways to provide that initial water collection and filtration. Additionally, we've implemented Basin Management Action Plans, or BMAPs. The goal of this is to improve the water quality within Lake Ida by using specific strategies to reduce pollutant loads and restore the lake's health. This involves collaboration between local governments, stakeholders, and the community. The Public Works Department also monitors Lake Ida's water quality, which tells us about the lake's condition, indicates the effectiveness of the efforts that we're doing so far, and helps us guide future management actions and decisions. The goal is to restore Lake Ida to a healthier state, benefiting both the ecosystem and the community that enjoys its recreational opportunities. We also do public education, just like this video here. And this is done to raise awareness about the impact of human activities on water quality and the importance of proper waste disposal. And lastly, of course, are regulations and ordinances. The City of Delray Beach complies with federal and state stormwater and water quality requirements, and we're part of the Palm Beach County MS4 National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit. The City of Delray Beach enacts regulations, such as the recently passed fertilizer ordinance, to limit pollutants entering the lake.
So that fertilizer ordinance is new, as you mentioned, and it also has a lot of important guidance that people can use on how to manage their own yard. So tell us about some of the things that are in that fertilizer ordinance.
I'd love to. So the City Commission has recently passed an improvement to our fertilizer ordinance that aims to reduce the amount of nitrogen and phosphorus that enter these local water bodies, including Lake Ida. And key provisions include things like seasonal restrictions, which limits the application of fertilizer during our rainy season, which occurs annually from June 1st to September 30th. The intent here is to prevent fertilizers from being washed into water bodies during these heavy rains that occur during rainy season. It has also implemented buffer zones where fertilizers can't be applied within 10 feet of any water body, including lakes, canals, and wetlands, which reduces direct runoff of nutrients into those adjacent water bodies. It also encourages the use of slow-release fertilizers. These release the nutrients gradually and reduce the risk of heavy nutrient runoff. And then again, educational programs such as this to help residents and landscapers learn about best practices. And the ultimate goal of this fertilizer ordinance is to improve water quality. So what we hope it will do is it'll reduce nutrient pollution within the lake. These nutrient pollutions can lead to harmful algal blooms and decreased oxygen water levels. It should also help us improve water clarity within Lake Ida, provide a healthier aquatic ecosystem that will benefit birds, fish, and other local wildlife, and provide enhanced recreational opportunities to make it a more attractive destination for fishing, boating, and other activities contributing to the overall well-being of our community.
Well, thanks, Cynthia. That fertilizer ordinance is just one of the tools that Public Works uses. I know that there are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, and I encourage people in the city to get involved and watch. There really are a lot of good works that are done there, and it's a tough job to manage the stormwater and to keep the water quality so that it's good. So thank you so much for that. I know that I go out to Lake Ida and I enjoy the site there, but if we don't manage it properly, then even last year we saw a fish kill. So there are things that everybody can do, and I hope that the video today has given you a little bit of background, and I encourage you to come to the Historical Society and do what you can do to manage water quality in the city of Delray Beach.